So in this last part of the modeling exercise, we will be creating a simple cup with a handle. And in this case, we won't be using any reference images, but we'll just create it from our own design. So let's delete this basic cube and let's bring up the add menu by pressing Shift A. And this time we want to use a cylinder. So now let's go into edit mode by pressing Tab key. And we want to select all of the top vertices. And we want to press 2 on the keyboard to go to edge selection mode. And let's inset these top face by pressing the I on the keyboard to inset them a little bit. And now let's press 3 on the keyboard to select this face, this top face. And let's press E on the keyboard to extrude it. So previously we normally extrude it upwards like that, but now we can actually extrude this face downwards to create a cup shape. And to see how much downward we want to move it, we can actually first left click to fix the extrusion. And now let's go to one of the side views and let's enable the X-ray option. So now we can see this semi-transparent view of the cup, and with these face still selected, I can press G on the keyboard to move it, and then press Z to move it strictly up and down along the Z direction. So I move it further downward a little bit and leave a little bit of the thickness for the bottom. Left click to fix it. And now we can disable the X-ray mode. Now we have the basic cup shape. So now we want to add a handle for the cup. So we can go to this side and use the extrude tool to extrude the handle out. But in order to do that, we first want to add a few edge loop on the outside of the cup. So let's press tab to go into edit mode. Make sure we're on edit mode and press Ctrl R on the keyboard to use the loop cut tool, and we want to scroll our middle mouse scroll wheel to increase the cut to 2, left click to fix. And once we are in this stage of moving the cuts up and down, we don't need to move them, but we want to move them further apart from each other. So we press the S key on the keyboard to scale them, and we only want to scale them along the Z direction, so we press Z. Now we are moving them closer or further apart, so we want to move them further like this. So one near the top and one near the bottom. And now let's repeat this process again to make another 2 edge loops. So let's press Ctrl R and then scroll the middle mouse scroll wheel to make it 2 cuts. Left click to fix, and then press S on the keyboard to scale them only on the Z direction. So press Z key. Now let's move them further apart again, somewhere here. So now we have 2 more edge loops on the outside. So now let's press 3 on the keyboard to select faces. And let's select these 2 faces, which is right next to the y-axis on the positive direction. So we select these 2 faces. And now we can extrude them by pressing the E key on the keyboard. Extrude them out like this. Maybe move them further apart. So I press G and then Y to move them a bit further. Okay. So now let's select this face on one side and then holding down shift and select this face on the other side. So we select both of these two faces and we press I on the keyboard to inset it a little bit like that. And now we will use another tool which we have used before, which is when with these two faces still selected, let's right click and use this bridge faces tool. Now this is a good trick with the two faces that are facing each other but part of the same geometry. If we use the bridge face tool, it actually creates a hole in between them. So now we have the shape for our shape for our handle as well. Now we have the very rough shape for this cup. Let's press Tab key to go to the object mode, and we will be using, of course, the modifier we have used before, which is the subdivision surface modifier to add details and smoothing for the cup. So let's use this one and increase the level viewport to 2. So now we have a more smoother cup, and we can go to object and then shade smooth. Maybe we want to increase even one more level of the subdivision modifier. So we increase both to 3 to make it even more even smoother. Okay, so the outside of the cup on the side seems fine, but if we look at the bottom and also the interior, the inside, we notice some strange rendering issue, and that's due to the smoothing not having enough geometry details, so it created this strange artifacts, these strange issues, which doesn't look good. And we can fix that by adding more details on the inside and also the bottom of the cup. So let's disable the subdivision surface modifier by clicking on this computer screen icon. Let's also go back to the flat shading mode. So object menu and then shade flat. So what we want to do is we want to create another edge loop inside the cup here, and then another edge loop near the bottom on the bottom of the inside, and also outside. We want to have another edge loop here. So let's press tab, go to edit mode, and let's press Ctrl R on the keyboard to use the loop cut tool. Left click to fix the cut and then move it up and down. In this case, we want to move it downward like that near the bottom. Okay, so now we have another edge loop here near the bottom of the cup. And now let's press 3 to go to face selection mode and then select the bottom face. Press I to inset it a little bit like that. And we want to do the same for the bottom on the outside. We want to select this bottom face, press I to inset it a little bit. Okay, now let's press tab to go back to object mode. We can now enable the subdivision surface modifier again. And now let's also shade smooth. Now we can see we have a very nice and flat and smooth bottom both inside and outside. And those previous strange rendering issues are gone now. So we have a simple but nice looking cup with a handle. And after you finish setting up the subdivision surface modifier, don't forget to apply it